Welcome to the acclaimed podcast, The Deep Dive, featuring your esteemed hosts, Andy Monitor and Drew Dinzik, powered by BetSperts.
Welcome to The Deep Dive. What's wrong? You're making a face. It's week 6.
It is week 6. It's a fun week. There's a bunch of good games. We got another double Monday Night Football. But most of the primetime games are pretty solid. If you forget about Thursday Night Football, which is never usually solid, but often entertaining. Everyone's hurt. A lot of people have cluster injuries. There's been some big adjustments, some swings in the market. We think the Chiefs might be a little back. And yes, it was the biggest bloodbath week. Finally, we had the Survivor bloodbath week. If you made it through with any entries, congrats. Keep on keeping on, guys. We get some day baseball. We get some day soccer. Hockey started. It is a fun, and also the temperature shifted hard. I had put pants on when I left the house this morning instead of shorts. It has been quite a while for me wearing long sleeve pants. I just like shorts. They're more fun.
Long sleeve pants? Is that how you call them?
Long sleeve pants. What is the pant leg if not the sleeve of the bottom extremity?
It's a fair point.
So yes, long sleeve pants for me. That's gonna catch on. And should we just jump right into this shit?
Hey, if you were eliminated from Survivor, number one, you can hold your head high, especially if it was at the Cardinals. We may not make it to the end. We probably aren't going to make it to the end. We have 2 entries. We're going to talk about it when we get to the Packers, probably. If you're still sensitive, skip that part of the podcast. We'll give you a trigger warning. But no matter how we get eliminated, when we get eliminated, Andy, I can't imagine it's going to be worse than the Cardinals. That was insane. That was insane.
I
saw it live and I was like
if somebody can come up with a game that was worse than that, I don't know that I can. There's been bigger comebacks, but they weren't like, hey, here's a banger that everyone's using in Survivor. It's like, well, here's an ugly game that, like the Vikings-Colts game. Maybe people did that because of Jeff Saturday, but that was like a weird standalone game too. Yeah. That I don't think people were excited to take the Vikings.
They were like 3-point favorites.
Colts. Yeah. Who would have taken the Colts there? To be up by that much, should have been up by more. Just the sequence of events makes you sound like an insane person. That's what I tweeted out. Like trying to explain that to somebody who didn't watch the game, like, did your 10-year-old write this script? Is this from a terrible Disney movie where plucky underdogs had everything go right?
There was a play where Kyler Murray got a ball snapped into his face mask, and then it was a fumble. That was not even the top 3 most ridiculous things that led to that.
Didn't even make the podium.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think in basically by definition, if you're picking a favorite and they lose, it's going to be a little weird, a little fluky, a little chaotic. That will go down, I think, in a lot of ways is the most absurd. And honestly, I was on with Nick and Femi yesterday doing You Better You Bet, and right when they broke the news that Gannon got fined. And Nick started saying, "Oh, news! The Cardinals have fought," and I was like, my heart just sank. I was because that was a fireball offense. The way he was conducting himself on the sidelines after with the
I put a little blurb in the newsletter today.
You think that was?
I haven't.
He should be on notice.
You're like the first person that's been on my side about this. Every single person, including some very reasonable people, were like, "Oh, America's gone soft. We're all soft. Like we can't." I'm like, no, I don't. You can chew his ass. You can't hit a guy.
You can't hit him. Yes,
you can't hit a guy. Like
I'm not like him reacting, him screaming at him in the vacuum. Fine. You're gonna lose the locker room maybe if you don't like.
But it's okay.
But it's okay.
Players
like when you hit him at the end, it's like.
That's where it was.
I don't know about that. And so I guess, but we've drawn the lines. You're not allowed to kick a kicker. You get fired for that. But you are allowed to.
Imagine if it were a little more of a. I mean, he was in such a bad place; he wasn't going to swing back. But if it were a little bit of a more of a hot-headed player,
if it had turned into a real tete-a-tete, a little fisticuffs, that would have been wild. Anyway,
yeah, it's just kind of a weird spot because you can forget it's a workplace, it's a job, it's an employer-employee boss whatever relationship. You probably can't hit him. Like
you definitely can't.
It's fine. It's fine giving him a fine. It's a big number. I thought
it was a big
maybe
fine.
A little.
It was a big fine. I will say this though. The first coach, if McDaniel ultimately is the first coach fired and that all cashes, I'm gonna be. It's not even going to be the most fortuitous first coach fired bet of my life or your life, because still don't understand how in the world they didn't grade Gruden when Gruden went out before. Who's that clown that kicked the kicker and was
Urban Meyer?
Urban Meyer at the bar and all that shit.
Gruden resigned in disgrace.
He resigned.
After the email thing.
He resigned. He was not graded the winner in that market. I just need to stop betting this because it's bad karma. it's not really fun to check. It's not really fun to be on Twitter refreshing Stephen Ross. What has he said lately?
Is he mad?
Is he mad? Is he paying attention? Was he at the game? He was at the game, right? He was at the game.
Oh, yeah. He's not happy.
He's not happy. Anyway.
Right.
Let's get into Thursday Night Football, where we have an Eagles team coming off their first loss that was deserved, I thought, taking on a New York Giants team that came back to earth after their Chargers win. Giants really struggling here in terms of differentiating skill players available to take on this Eagles squad. Eagles really trying to prove that they're not just a flat out bad offense. So far through 5 weeks, they are grading poorly. This is not anywhere close to what we saw from them in their highs in their Super Bowl run, particularly in the NFC Championship game and Super Bowl specifically, where they were just unstoppable machine. And it's especially confounding because they have so many good weapons. Like, this shouldn't be happening, that they're this clunky and poor offensively, but they are. And this is maybe a get right spot for them. However, they're going to have to do it without Landon Dickerson. They're going to have to do it with Grant
Calcaterra also out.
Grant Calcaterra, okay, and
seemingly they didn't practice on the Tuesday. They had the fake practice. Not really. We have to give you a report. They didn't practice. Dickerson doesn't seem likely.
I think Dickerson's officially out.
Yeah, the other meaningful one would be Darius Slayton is out for the Giants, and then obviously Bozeman still injured as well, seeming like he may miss. Find out. They'll have to have those out here pretty soon for your Wednesday injury reports.
Yeah. Surprise Jalen Carter missed practice.
Yeah.
Not a lot of other difference makers on that D line right now for the Eagles, although the Eagles defense is clearly not the problem. It's all offense. They had a players sort of only meeting in Philly. Like, they're trying, like the Hurts and AJ Brown are trying to heal the whatever friction is going on there. Do you get this? Because people were sharing that Hurts wasn't at his engagement party or wedding or whatever, and is this a big deal? And I was like, shut up. Who cares? Come on. But is there a problem?
My favorite thing that happened so far with this game is Brian Dable in a press conference said, man, that's the best thing ever. He might get fired at the end of the year. I still respect the hell out of him as a coach and as a mind fucker, because what he said was oh man, AJ Brown always open.
If he just goes full troll the rest of the season, that would be amazing. I would love it.
That's the greatest troll. He's setting a trap for he's sowing discord.
I love it.
I did love that. Yeah, the Saquon knee injury stuff. This is a perfectly good point, Berto. The knee injury, and then he goes onto the MetLife turf that has silently murdered a million knees. Not silently either, but I don't love that he is carrying an injury right now.
People are calling it the curse of Jimmy Hoffa. I don't know if that's fair. They keep changing the turf there, by the way. It keeps changing it.
Yeah, but the same body is still
The
buried
result-
underneath it. Yeah.
The results stay the same. Anyway.
I still have a decent rating on this offense, but it's not as high as it should be, could be, would be. And obviously you lose a little bit because of the offensive line issues now that we're, a little banged up, one guy missing, one guy hurt. And yeah, it just doesn't feel the same. And I think that the biggest issue, maybe outside of Saquon carrying injuries, you have a different play caller. And I really, really don't want to go to bat with the Giants here.
No.
But if you are out on Kevin Patullo, you are definitely out on him on a short week.
That's
week.
A great point.
Coming off of like a bunch of, are we so sure about this offense for the whole season? And now you give this guy a short week against a very experienced coaching staff in the Giants. For me, it's Giants or nothing in this spot. Yes. And I hate that because Jackson Dart he's a mixed bag. That's a euphemism for he's just Jameis. He's just full Jameis at this point, which is fun.
We just should mention as we're talking injuries, Nakobe Dean will be back for the first time this season. Weird that they're starting him in this Thursday game, but I think it's 10 days to then get ready for week 2.
Somebody did tweet that out too. Oh, this is definitely the place you want to. Someone's like, yeah, this is where you definitely want to test out that knee.
Yeah, it was a little strange. Anyway, I would say the Eagles can't be just a drama-free, like good team. Like they have, there's so much extra with these guys, and I agree with you. Like if your neutral power ratings are saying that 7 is fair for the Eagles here, you are so married to your preseason prior of them being like a +6. And have not made a single adjustment based on what you've seen so far this year. You have to. Yeah. It has to be.
I'm lower in the market on both teams, but I'm still like a 5 here. Probably going to take the 7 at home.
I don't think I can bet this one. I mean, one of the two things is going to happen after this game. Either the people who are standing up and betting Eagles and saying that, no, stick to your prior stupid, either they're going to be rewarded with, finally the real Eagles showed up. Or it's going to be this is the capitulation spot where everybody who's like, God, downgrade these guys. Come on. Like, this is going to be okay, fine. We give up. We downgrade. Because, like, right now, it's not clear to me that this Eagles team deserves the respect they're getting market wide. It's going to go one way or the other. Either they cement as a top team or they get downgraded after this game, depending on how they perform.
I'll have some Giants.
I'm going to skip this one.
I'm just going to stick to my guns, take all the edges this week.
Okay.
I'm not going to play the expensive 7.5. It'll be just a good, fair, cheap 7 here.
You know why I'm going to stay away from this one, Andy? I just want to be. I want to be clear-eyed, clear mind. No leverage for or against any particular side for halftime, so that we can.
What's your
carry on the only thing that's going well? 3.4,
2.7 for me. Jeez. With Dickerson out.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I'm probably low. I'm on the low end of where I should be, but at the same time, I'm also pretty low on the Giants, and I make this about a 5-point spread right now, giving them it's not one of my bigger home fields either.
Okay.
So
here's the thing:
low total, big spread, big enough spread, and my last point is Dart was kind of shitty last week, and he made some big mistakes. I do think the game plan and Dable just kind of reins that in this week. Like, hey, we're not gonna give you that much freedom. Let's not do some of those things.
Okay.
Let's not turn the ball over on 6 straight possessions or whatever it was.
I generally feel like if I was doing 100% weighting of what we have this year for data, my Eagles number would be like 1.2. And I have a specific weighting of prior for every team based on just bets, injuries, all of that, right? Like my Ravens prior is 0% preseason prior. and my Eagles is probably the highest. I still am like hanging on with like an 80-20 here, sticking to prior based on just the people involved, the talent on the field. And, that changes one way or the other after this game. Because right now they're not warranting this type of price. Anyway, let's carry on to Sunday morning in London town. We get another international kickoff at 6:30 a.m. Pacific time. Andy, set the table.
Yeah, the Denver Broncos flew right away because they were already that way, and they went to London early. I think that's what I read. You have to back me up on that. The Jets, that's not a bad flight, right? They ended up probably, I think Michael Carter's still left behind at this point with the concussion. They said he wasn't going to fly early, but yeah, this is another one. I think we have one next week as well, where this is just, I think eventually this is just going to be status quo, where every single week we start football at early in the morning for the West Coast, but I like it. It's 8:30 for me. It's just, I have time for a little bit of breakfast, a little bit of goofing around, getting stuff ready for the day, and then I settle in for an incredibly long day of football. The Broncos, I mentioned, they're one of my teams that's come down the most since the preseason for where I had them. Knicks has not looked good. The defense has good players, but not the greatest results as a whole in general. They are a not average team for me right now. I did check some of my positions. Obviously, it's not the same at sports books that don't have cash out, but my Kalshi positions on the Broncos have improved from preseason expectation as far as to win the division. Obviously, part of that is, the Chargers stumbling around the last couple of weeks and the Chiefs starting a little slow. I'm tempted to cash out, though, at a win. I'm tempted to cash out and take the Broncos for about 1.5x my stake and just say, I'm going to wash my hands of this and I'm going to go put this all on the Steelers right now to win the division.
Wow.
And then go bet, and then go bet the Ravens in 2 weeks.
Sure, then cash that out.
Just,
you're trying to
cash
roll.
Something.
Yeah,
just trying to roll this over here. So, and obviously the Jets they're pretty low in the market. It depends. I think how you speak of the Jets is how you feel about should Justin Fields be a starting quarterback in the NFL right now, and is this pass rush, is this defensive line actually good? They went up against a bunch of backups in Dallas and got their asses blown off the ball badly.
Yeah,
they looked a little quitty, and honestly, I don't think Glenn is a good coach. I think that's probably a problem too.
Yeah, I completely agree there, and I think that's really where the that's the nugget, that's the nut more than even the Fields conversation, because Fields hasn't been bad, but he's not a very good passer of the football. I think that's pretty obvious. I'm a little like he's creating not all that different than Jalen Hurts right now. Like that's kind of where he's landing. Anyway, the coaching and the defense in particular, the scheming, all that feels like that's completely fucked. And I don't think that's getting fixed on an international trip here. Just to clarify, you said there's London next week. It's Ramathorns at the Jacksonville Jaguars, Shaganoff, London Jaguars next week. The Jets warrant, my preseason prior and their current season data are pretty dang close here. Both are coming in around a -3.5, -4.
Yeah, I haven't made a huge adjustment. The Jets are actually slightly higher for me than my preseason number, but not much of a difference. They've kind of played up to expectation, although I did expect the defense to play a little better, considering they have a defensive-minded head coach. And truthfully, some of the stuff we look at, Drew mentions this a lot, looking at the difference that turnovers make in the game.
Sure.
We're going to mention this a lot when we talk about the Jags defense. The Jets offense, or the Jets in general, go look at how meaningful the turnovers have been in their games. Like, they haven't been a bottom of the barrel team. They're not good. They're below average for sure. But they've been greatly affected in EPA and win percentage by the turnovers that
they have zero turnovers.
If you're a Jets fan, Yeah, not only that. Yeah, I haven't even got to their
zero.
Defense.
Yes.
Yeah, I haven't even got to their defense. Just their turnover margin is about as bad as it can get at this point in the season.
Yes.
That should regress at some point.
Devin Lloyd has 4 interceptions. The Jets have 0 turnovers. Yeah. Like, how the fuck? I don't know, man. I think 7 is probably fair. 6.5 would be 6.5, 7, somewhere in that range is my number. If you want to put a little bit of tax on the Broncos because they're winning right now, and that Sean Payton seems like he's scheming well, and he's going to have pretty much anything he wants in this game against this Jets defense, which is right now bottom 6. And it is only really stopping the run. They're doing nothing in terms of pass rush or coverage to write home about. Coverage, their coverage number is fucking atrocious right now. I think I have them only better than like Chicago and Miami. Chicago, Miami are the only 2 groups that have worse coverage right now for me than the Jets, which is amazing considering Sauce Gardner's on your roster. The Broncos probably win. This cover is probably decided by whether there's garbage time points for the Jets or not. They have been playing very poorly from behind this year. Every time the Jets have taken a multiple score deficit, the game has just kind of fallen apart, or the trapdoor opened out from under them. The only time they covered backdoor was against the Bucs, and that was because of the blocked field goal, which was probably an illegal play. I don't have anything else.
Yeah, I don't foresee myself betting this game because my numbers say Jets, and I already bet the Giants. I can't take both of these terrible New York teams. I don't know. I guess the final kind of kicker for me is I don't trust the ownership / management / coaching to do a good job of traveling to Europe. Like if I'm down on Glenn and I'm down on everyone who's in charge here, I don't expect them to be efficient in their let's travel to Europe and do a good job of making sure everyone's well rested and stuff. Whereas other teams who are more analytically sound are better at that sort of thing. So, I'm kind of out on that.
Noonan mentions Tony Adams is a bum. I completely agree. He is absolutely.
Okay.
Tony Adams is a bum.
All right, Sunday.
All right.
Cleveland?
Also, by the way, actually, one final comment. Aaron Glenn is so far over his skis. And the evidence was the hiring of Steve Wilkes to run a defense and the kind of clash between those 2 guys' vision of how to run the defense. I don't know that this gets solved. This Jets team is probably a 3-win team, maybe. There's no kind of happy ending here in New York, I don't think. Anyway, I'll tee us up for
Cleveland-Pittsburgh. Yeah.
Cleveland-Pittsburgh. So scheduled loss for the Browns. Coming back from London, they have a road game against a team coming off of a bye. Situationally about as bad as it gets. Decent travel and rest disadvantage here for Cleveland, which affects their expectations significantly. Pittsburgh went into their bye with a lot to fix, however. This Pittsburgh team has been grading well below expectation defensively, and they've been getting wins despite the fact that Aaron Rodgers looks pretty washed for the most part. I don't really have a strong opinion on whether what Art Smith is doing with Rodgers is good enough to score points to cover a spread like this. If it was not for this situation, I would be betting Browns pretty aggressively this week. But because of the situation, this is a stay away. Browns right now are grading for me as a very, very, very unlikely to score offense and a much better than the market realizes defense. I think this is probably a 21-17 kind of a game, but that would require red zone efficiency for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how I want to treat either of these teams because of the mixed bag we've seen from Aaron Rodgers and the fact that we have one data point on Dylan Gabriel. The funniest part of this whole week, and I'm just going to cede my time to talking about Dylan or Shedeur Sanders and Watson. It is funny, like we have a season going on, and all the press wants to ask about is like, well, where's Shedeur Sanders on the depth chart now? And somebody asked about Watson too. It's like, well, they're not starting guys. Like obviously that those aren't our quarterbacks. Like it has to just be so annoying to be the head coach there and have to.
It's annoying to care about football at all, and this being part of the discussion. Do you know like how much the greater algorithm is like these people care about football? I'm going to make sure they get a healthy amount of Deion Sanders and Shedeur Sanders news. Stop, please. I am not interested in this. The algorithm is serving me garbage that I am not clicking on, and it continues to force feed any Shedeur Sanders, Deion Sanders information. All good. Thank you. I think Dylan Gabriel was fine last week, although he's clearly very limited. He has a very low ceiling, but he has a higher floor maybe than Flacco. He's not going to turn the ball over a bunch. Quinshon Judkins rocks. That guy is very fucking good. Top 5.
That's my whole game plan if I'm Tomlin. Stop Judkins, make Dylan Gabriel beat you. Now we have a week of game film on him. It does feel like it's very hard to take the Browns in this spot situation, even though you're getting a fair amount of points. Situationally, it's the worst situationally spot that we've seen in quite a while. Coming off the bye on the road there against the team on the bye. Excuse me, coming off the London game, not taking yours, heading to a tough divisional foe who knows you well, and having another good head coach that you're going up against. So
there was
I'm going to watch this game because I'm excited about Judkins. I love that kid.
Okay. Early enthusiasm. I will maybe just play Judkins overs because I'm not sold on the Steelers' run defense really at all. I think those guys are still over pursuing. They're over. Their gap discipline is just not good.
I have it below average right now. I have it like a 4 out of 10.
That's I think that's correct. There was originally market support for Pittsburgh, bet from -4 out to -6 before coming back down to 5.5. So that was the resistance point. I think this probably closes 5.5, 6. I don't see really any reason to bet this game other than Judkins overs. Maybe we'll see.
That's fun.
See what those numbers look like. Let's carry on.
All right, I will take us to the capital of Indiana, and our girl Carly, the division-leading Indianapolis Colts. They're good. They're a good team now, and there were some concerns because they were getting a little banged up. They did sign Michael Badgley because Spencer Schrader, their kicker, has Schradered his knee, and he will be out for some time. Mike Hilton is up in the air right now, but Kenny Moore, who had missed some time, just doing some work on the side today, which is a good sign. They could use him back there. Grover Stewart was hurt in last week's game, but he was practicing today, as well as Alec Pierce, who matters to the offense. And that's kind of the point here is like, this is a massively upgraded offense from where we started the season. We weren't super sure that this was even the right call. Like, do you want to see what you have in Richardson? Or you just kind of like, this guy has a higher floor, and I don't actually believe in Daniel Jones, but he's going to help me coach for a couple more years because he's not going to absolutely dick it when he does. He's fine. He's looked good. I give all the credit to the play calling, the game planning, the scheming, because you've put in a slightly above average quarterback in with a elite running back, a really good offensive line, and a couple of damn decent receivers. And
bunch of decent receivers.
Suddenly it's like, wow, that's what elevates this guy. And this offense has moved up more than any offense I've moved up in quite a while, because I started with such low expectations. And now I don't know if you have some sort of bounce off of that awful loss. We're up to 7 now. This opened at 4, but Arizona not only suffered a horribly embarrassing loss, had the embarrassing moment with the coach. They put their blocking tight end on the IR. Kyler didn't practice today.
Yeah. What's your
because of his foot? I think he plays. I think it's probably just, hey, it's his foot. Let's rest that up. If he doesn't practice tomorrow, then we're dealing with problems, and this might get out to like 8. But,
no, there's a lot of credible reporting that he's not going. What's your number with Arizona if it's Jacoby Brissett?
Oh man, I mean, I'm already at like a -3. They're
I
so
think you
banged
got-
up in the secondary.
I think you got to downgrade him regardless because the foot thing. The thing that makes
Yeah.
Kyler special, honestly, is what his scrambling. And if he's not capable of doing that because of the foot or I think that gives them incentive to bench him or to keep him let him recuperate. And I think
we should be betting the 7. I mean, that says we should be taking the Colts right now because right now I'm at an 8.5 regardless. And if I drop it another couple points for the downgrade, dude, a very serviceable backup in Brissett. It's not like we're sticking a rookie out there. It's still a downgrade. And if Kyler's in, it should be, like you mentioned, another downgrade because he's not going to be 100%. I didn't know how bad this injury was until today. The fact that he's missing some time is, problematic. So it's a nice teaser leg, but I'm strongly considering the Colts, which is pretty wild.
I think we got to talk about whether the Colts are a sneaky good survivor pick. I think let's put a pin in this, circle back on probably Friday, but a lot of teams that are alive used the Colts last week, which means they become pretty important to us because I don't think either of our live entries have used the Colts. Is that correct?
I think, we used them when we were on the Green Bay team.
We used them 1 year. Our eliminated third entry had Colts, yes. But the 2 that are live, I think we have Colts in both. We got to think about if they end up being the right call this week because realistically, we're only winning if Green Bay knocks out the rest of the pool this week. I gotta tell you, and I don't know that we're going to be rooting for that, but boy, would that be a great story. Anyway,
if Flacco beat him twice,
it'd be fucking awesome. All right. How they're.
I don't have a lot else to say here.
I don't either. I think this is very, very, very much a collect information on Kyler and whether or not he goes, and or talk yourself into what the fare should be if it's Brissett, and or if it is Kyler out there that without the scrambling, without the mobility. I think that's bad. I got to ask that I've been paying attention to some of the stuff that gets kicked around in social media, and there's been a lot of people who have been using the services of Etsy witches to curse teams. You've seen this, right?
Yeah.
Do you think
the Seahawks.
Carly Ursay is the Etsy witch?
That's not nice to say. I guess witches can be pretty.
This is pretty. I'm not. It's not commentary on her looks. What are you talking about? No, I'm just saying the fact that the Colts are sun running like this. I know they probably should have beat the Rams, but this is
that balances with the Denver game.
This is pretty impressive that we're getting this kind of luck and sun running from a Colts squad. Like this game particularly, we're there's the Tomlin voodoo was real. The Colts do have like an air of witchy woman around. They got an air of witchy woman.
Colts and Survivor.
Yeah, there's something cooking there. So anyhow,
Colts are nothing for me, and probably gonna avoid it because I'm gonna be behind on the news, and I won't want to bet it when it's 9. So,
speaking of 9, we're headed there with the Rams taking on the Baltimore Ravens in Baltimore. As mentioned previously, the Rams will then pack up and get on a plane and fly to London. Probably, I haven't heard that for sure, but keep an eye on that news. I certainly would. Rams are out to 7.5, 8, depending on which sharp book you specifically prefer. Actually, there was a little bit of resistance at 8 at Circa, so maybe 7.5, 8 is where this closes. The Ravens.
Kyle Hamilton and Ronnie Stanley returned to practice.
They were spotted.
They were spotted there. I don't know.
The Hamilton one was the most surprising because they traded for a safety yesterday and they gave away a pass rusher, which they didn't have very many pass rushers to give away. So that was a little bit of like a what was your Odafe Owe
Adafe Owe for Alohi Gilman.
Alohi Gilman trade reaction? Instant reaction.
I think it kind of speaks to the fact that we can't have Kyle Hamilton doing everything. We need help there more to make better use of his abilities. I don't know. It was a weird one. And, at the same time, they're still missing 4 or 5 other starters on the defense, even if Hamilton comes back and he's great. But, the big one is still Kyler because that makes such a big difference in the offense. This is I looked at what my preseason number was for this team because I already had downgraded them. They weren't playing that great. This was 11.75 points worse than my preseason number where I have them at right now, which is crazy. That's a crazy move, all things considered, but like warranted. And I'm probably still higher than them, than some of the market is, I guess. I have them about a -5, I guess.
I'm 10.3 worse than preseason. Ron Mexico notes. Ron Mexico, of course, the alter ego of Michael Vick, famous herpes haver. I don't remember the full details of that story, where the nickname Ron Mexico comes from. I think he
used it. He used it at doctor's offices.
Alter ego. Yeah. He says Rams are staying in Baltimore and practicing at Camden Yards. Interesting. Wonder why they wouldn't just go to London. Whatever. Guess they're not trying to get their clocks moved that far before then going back to LA. Who the hell knows? Anyway, Baltimore's fare right now should be minus a lot. I don't know. Minus
this
4.5.
is basically like, can you stomach a teaser with a road team that has a London game looking ahead to them? I don't know if there's a strong case to take the points with Baltimore until it gets to 10.
My number for the Baltimore defense last week was like 23rd percentile. And with the expected returns, I'm like closer to 30th this week, but maybe I'm too high. Roquan Smith's almost certainly still going to be out. They don't have a pass rush. Their secondary is a huge problem, has a couple of big problems. TJ Tampa can't really play. Noonan thinks the trade says something about Roquan Humphrey's status. That was my takeaway in the moment because they also signed CJ GJ. So like they're kicking around a lot of safety
to the practice squad.
But I'm saying like, but you're not like, give me safeties. Like it was a little bit of like a, like
the GJ thing too is they don't have to pay him a dime. Basically, he's pretty much free based on his contract situation with Houston. So that's kind of like okay. If this works out, it works out.
Maybe
you're right. I mean, they're grabbing a bunch of safeties.
Maybe this is about Roquan, which is bad news for the long term for this defense. Like if Smith is out a long time and they have to move Humphrey into like more of covering Smith's role, and then they move Gilman or Starks or CJ into the Hamilton role, that's all of that is bad. This is there's a lot bad still going on, and I
read the moves as just like we need bodies, anybody, because this Ron Mexico points out too. I don't even know the guy's name either, but the UDFA that they had play, yes, it was. I mean, it was rough out there. They had to just try something. It's like, well, I can't get worse. Let's see what happens. Let's kick some tires on some guys. Let's make a trade. Let's move some people around. If Hamilton does play and they're able to put him up in the box more, maybe that helps your run defense. It's struggling a little too. So
Ruben Lowry the third or Keon Martin, they were both terrible. Anyway,
sure.
All right. Well, Rams on the other hand, coming off of extra rest, nice travel disadvantage, not great. But they do have a very, 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 very good set of skill position players to test this beaten up secondary. So another survivor wrinkle for you here. Pretty much everybody that's left has the Rams.
Yeah.
Because the Rams eliminated so much of the pool last week. Is there a better spot down the road to save them for?
My day tomorrow is planning on doing some remapping. I haven't got a chance yet. I've been prepping so much for this week.
Okay.
And, golf. The golf tournament starts in 2 hours.
I don't know what you're talking about. They're still playing golf?
The PGA Tour's Thursday starts in 2 hours because they're in Japan. So it's like 6:45
Far
a.m.
East
Japan
playing
time
for tennis. Yeah.
Yeah, except it's one. They play one tournament there, and then everyone comes back. So I had a little extra time spent on golf, and I haven't got around to mapping Survivor, so I'm not going to be able to help you too much on Survivor yet.
Okay, all right, we'll keep it. We'll keep this under our ad till Friday. We have till Friday to make a decision. I want to see what more of the pool shape up looks like too. And Rams, by the way, fair price here should be probably 7, and there's a little bit of a tax because of how bad Baltimore was last week. I completely get that. Rams should be able to pick their number here, but who the hell knows? No likelihood that Lamar goes. Do you agree?
I'm saying very low, under 10%.
Okay. Under 10.
Because I've been lied to before. I've been lied to before.
Yeah, but they have the bye next week. They have their bye next week. If they bring him back any re-injuries,
I know, but look at their record.
Your season's done. Your season's done. If you hurt him,
all right.
Anyway.
Seahawks at the Jags.
Jagging off.
Open, this is it's up to about Jacksonville -1. Total has ticked up, or where did we end up with that? It was about 45.
47.
47.5. Okay. Seahawks defense is a little banged up. It's good, but it's still banged up. We had the Reek Woolen concussion. We had the Derek Hall oblique injury. The Jags had the Bretton Strange injury. He is actually on the IR now. He's going to miss a month or more with a quad injury. That's bad. This is a weird one because I've upgraded Jacksonville a bunch in the market. Trevor was a dog. Trevor runs like an idiot, but it was successful. It was fruitful and very fruitful when he fell down and then was still able to score. That was a weird game. The second half had a lot of points, which was exciting for us, and they got a win. And this is my main takeaway this is my macro take for the NFL. There's like no elite teams right now. Even the really, really good teams, it's like, hey, Detroit's one of the best teams. Yeah, they don't have any secondary right now. They're super hurt. It's like, but Kansas City's on the come up. Give it a few weeks. Like they need their offense, or they need their wide receivers to get better. Green Bay might be the best team in the league right now. Like there's a case to say Green Bay is the best. If they get Tom back and they're healthy up front, like they're just kind of out of sight, out of mind right now. Like
their receivers are all kind of hurt though.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying.
Rotating cast.
Every single elite team has this huge strike against them right now. Buffalo's defense.
You're absolutely right. Yeah.
Buffalo's defense can absolutely be had. The Ravens are obviously in hell right now. All the Eagles, we don't trust this offense. There's nobody that's setting themselves apart from the pack, and you end up with this group of teams that's been playing well, but we don't really know how good they are because they all have way bigger flaws. Obviously, and the Jags are just living off these turnovers for now. The offense has been okay. It's been definitely above average, but the defense is clearly not as good as the EPA they're putting up because of the turnovers. It's hard to catch that falling knife. Be like, oh, that'll just stop this week. How's that worked out for you the last 3 weeks, guys? It just hasn't. I love the Seahawks. This is one of my biggest disagreements in the board, but I don't love the travel spot here. I don't love a few things. Obviously, Jacksonville has a shorter week, which is a little beneficial, but I'm tempted by Seattle here. Talk me out of it.
I bet Seattle. One of my favorite bets of the week.
God damn
it. I played money line here.
Seattle money line. Okay. I was gonna leave this one up to you. If you could make a salient point for me not to take Seattle just straight up, because I make Seattle favored by about 1.5 points.
This is all you really need to know. You ready?
Yes.
Sam Darnold, fewest turnover-worthy plays of any quarterback in football.
KOC residuals.
This Jags defense sucks. And maybe the Jags offense comes back to earth a bit after a primetime win like that. And Trevor Lawrence, very middle of the pack in turnover-worthy plays. Very middle of the pack in terms of his ability to hit you with the second, third read. And just in general, like The Trevor Lawrence stuff that's working to me when I'm watching it is like, fuck, this is predictable and defensible, and a good defensive mind like McDonald, I think, has a game plan in place to really take advantage of what Lawrence is doing well and make him beat you with his left hand. Because you know what the Jags are not beating the Seahawks with? The running attack. The Seahawks rushing defense is going to absolutely obliterate whoever they give carries to in this contest. And I think ultimately this is going to come down to Trevor Lawrence and his ability to operate against a well-schemed defense and disguised pressures. And I think in general, Darnold doesn't make mistakes in this contest. And the Seahawks, this has whiffs of like Seahawks Steelers to me, where they get a couple bounces and the game becomes pretty one-sided Seahawks in the second half. So took the money line. My fare, by the way, Seattle small favorites.
Yeah, I have Seattle minus 1.5 for my fare right now. Obviously, I'm high on them as well. The concerns are the defensive injuries, but I do like the matchup coaching wise with McDonald against anybody right now.
Strange out matters too.
Yeah, strange out does matter, but like you said, you have a guy who struggles making his second and third reads versus a pretty good defensive mind here who's starting to really piece it all together about 20 games into his head coaching career. So, all right, I'll join you. I was kind of waiting. I don't expect this number to get worse. So I was being patient here. I was fine. All right, Dallas, Carolina.
I think this hangs out in this zone all week. And
I think it just kind of stuck there. Yeah.
I think this eventually flips Seattle favorite personally, but who the hell knows? Seattle's been getting some serious support in the market. I think they'll get it again.
Maybe we see some late week steam, but it's hard to predict. So
okay, moving on to Cowboys Panthers. Very, very, very surprised by the market here. Very. The Carolina Panthers come off a resounding home win. They have played much better at home than they have on the road so far this year. It is worth noting. But that home win was after spotting the Dolphins a 17-point lead. The Dolphins and the Cowboys makeup is pretty similar, with the exception that the Cowboys are doing a better job of in-game adjustments and just generally calling a better offense. Defense has the same sort of problems. So this is a pretty much like the game plan you ran out there against the Dolphins last week should work against the Cowboys this week. So I think you can pretty well peg what to expect out of Carolina here. What I don't know that you can do is peg what Dallas's offense is going to do to this Carolina defense. This was at one point Dallas -3, juicy as hell, effectively a 3.5. It's come down to a flat 3. So basically somebody has stuck their neck out, and it really is accumulating Panthers position in this game, which completely caught me by surprise. I thought this was going to go the other way. I thought this was going to be more like flat 3.5 by the time we got to kick, which maybe means somebody knows something that CeeDee Lamb is not really good to go. What do you think?
Does it matter?
I'm not sure.
I think, it does. I jest, but like he would help the offense. They put a pretty good offensive game plan together without him. And right now, just, the pass rush has been, the pass rush block has been good. Like we mentioned with the Jets handicap, like they just blew people up on both sides of the ball with their trench play last week. And Dallas I have them as a 68th percentile passing offense right now, which is up there amongst the best against the Carolina defense. It's in the middle of the pack at best, it's just that the Dallas offense or the defense can really, really be gotten here. I don't know. I think if you like Dallas, do you like the over?
I think you do. Yeah.
I'm kind of stumped here. I didn't expect it to come back down to 3. I can bet a 3 -03 right now at places. That's very surprising. I didn't think it'd come down to a reasonable 3. Obviously, I like Dallas here. I like the matchup offensively. I don't quite make it. I don't have a huge edge. I make it about 4.
Okay.
3.84 exactly is where I'm at. not a huge home field for Carolina, is according to what I have calced out, I guess. But it's not a bad spot. It's not a bad travel spot. It's not a bad fatigue spot. Like Dallas should be fine here. And if the offense get going, I don't know that Carolina can keep up. I don't know if they can consistently put together a bunch of good drives, because that was, I guess, like you said, Miami and Dallas have some similarities in that you don't have much of a secondary left. I'd say Dallas is in better shape right now. So,
okay, so if I don't have a really strong opinion on the side, I just was surprised. I think the total going up is correct. Mine is 51-ish. If you had to take a secret pod play from this game, would you take over Carolina or over Dallas? It's going to be a bigger number, like 27.
It's going to be 26.5, I bet.
You like Dallas 26.5 more than it's going to be juicy over 26.5 versus probably a friendly over 24. 4 touchdowns for Dallas feels better for you?
I think they get 6.
Okay. So
right now, I can
over is on the radar.
I'm betting this. I can low vig, bet online, same thing. You know what? The low vig price isn't different than bet online when it's not a side or total. So right now at bet online, there's a 26.5 minus 15. That's bettable, and in the sense that I'm betting it right now. That's a reasonable price. Panthers are going to be 23.5 minus, evens. I don't mind both of them. Maybe I do just like this over.
FanDuel is Dallas 26.5 minus 106. I think that's going to be first in the running for secret pod play when we get to the end of this. Okay, I don't have anything else there. The matchup of Dallas rushing and passing against Carolina defense looks damn good to me, so I like that.
All right, down to Miami.
At Miami, is it your turn to set this up? Or
yeah, down to Miami, where the Chargers are. Stop me if you've heard this one over the past 10 to 15 years. Hurt. Becton, Pipkins, hand, Hampton, not a hand injury, although Becton did pick up a hand injury. I'm talking about Deshaun Hand hurt his groin, did not return on the defensive line. Hampton obviously is on the IR with a ankle. Was it ankle? Either way, a lower extremity, and he's gone for a while. That's their second running back out. The offensive line is beat up as hell. Herbert's good. Herbert's very good. He's one of the better quarterbacks. He can't have everyone around him stay healthy, turning him into the joke, the Mr. What If. The Dolphins haven't lost a lot of players since. Obviously, the Terrell Dodson thing was something to monitor with his head injury. I didn't get an update on that, but their secondary is already. It's already been decimated. So again, if you can put together a game plan where the offensive line doesn't matter as much against this pass rush, which I think you can, you should be able to gash this team. Teams should be able to gash Miami's secondary. You have 3 good receivers. You have maybe 4 good receivers. And you have a really smart quarterback. I'm close to the number here, but if you made me lean one way or the other, I'd want to bet the Chargers. I just don't know if I love them on the road with this offensive line right now.
I feel like I already have skin in this game. It's Chargers money line.
Yeah, you want Chargers. You have Chargers alts. You want Miami embarrassed. You want Mike McDaniel not to come out of the tunnel at half, not because he got fired, because he's just sobbing in a bathroom stall.
Well, if he resigns, I think that's bad for you, right?
Well, no, I think he just stays in there and then he gets fired. They find him in the third quarter and fire him.
Okay.
He's laying in poop water on the floor.
Full on Vontae Davis. For those of you who don't get that reference, look it up. It's fantastic. Anyway, I am struggling to bet anything Dolphins in any of these games because I'm so clouded with, with the anchor. I'm so biased in terms of what I want to happen. I don't think 4 is fair with the injuries to the Chargers here. Chargers did just make a move to get a pass rusher, which should help. The Dolphins really, their offense is super confusing. It's like why it's not better is really, really tough to say. Obviously, losing Tyreek Hill matters, but you've gotten this complete surprise contribution from Darren Waller all of a sudden. Achane looks live as hell, but they're only doing this dink and dunk passing stuff, which to me spells like they built the boat around a limited Tua, and it's just never going to look especially good, I don't think. And the fact that you're now bringing your party to a matchup against a pass defense that is legit with the Chargers is bad. I think the Chargers are going to have no issues at all turning Tua over in this game. This has whiffs of a 2 or 3 turnover kind of game to me, with the way that the Chargers play defense.
The way you said it, I didn't know if you said 2 or 3 or 2 or 3.
2 or 3.
I love how that kind of
2 or 3.
Like
2 or 3 turnover game.
Turnovers. Turn the ball over. Turn the ball over.
Yeah. Bigger question surely is whether the Chargers can keep Herbert upright. He obviously has a nice set of weapons to work with. A little bit surprised and confused still to like. This is a sidebar that's not really worth going down too far because we have more games to cover. But like, if you redrafted last year's wide receivers right now, it would look so different than if we had that thought experiment preseason.
Yeah,
it's like crazy. It's crazy.
Donkey got a touchdown, but
he hasn't contributed to the degree we thought he would at all.
He was such a big part of it last year.
Questions swirling about Marvin Harrison and Brian Thomas Jr. Malik Neighbors can't stay healthy. Is Rome Odunze the first wide receiver taken? Or am I forgetting somebody very fucking obvious? I'm probably forgetting somebody very obvious.
It was Harrison.
No, I know, but as I'm saying, you redraft the wide receivers from last year's class. Who goes first right now?
That's a fun Friday. Let's do that Friday. Let's do a redraft.
All right, let's do it. I'm sure I'm forgetting somebody very obvious, but it's funny how perceptions have changed so aggressively on all these guys.
My biggest takeaway from so far the Dolphins season is I am proclaiming retirement is a valid reason to be a comeback player of the year, and Waller should be like one of the favorites. He's been so important and he's been good. It hasn't been fluky. I think he might end up with like 12 touchdowns. I bet him at like 20-1. I think Mitch and Paulie were the first ones to raise that banner. I'm there right with him, and Ryan has the obvious answer in
Puka. He wasn't that class, was he?
Yeah.
No, he was
2 years ago.
I think he was 2 years ago. He was not a rookie last year. He was a sophomore last year. The number one guy last year. You could make a case for Worthy, Pearsall, Odunze, Keon Coleman, McConkey. Brock Bowers would obviously count if you were doing anyone who can catch a pass. But yeah, it's
not AD Mitchell.
Not AD Mitchell. Although happy birthday to AD Mitchell. From the Colts.
Weird thing.
You see that?
Yeah.
Social media guy. Not in touch with what's going on in that locker room. Anyway.
My favorite is when they do that and it's in the preseason and then they end up cutting him later that day.
Oh, yeah.
So then they have to put out another graphic. Not a graphic, but we've parted ways with these 3 players. Like,
yeah.
Did you just wish that guy a birthday? All right. Titans Raiders. This is the start.
Oh, wait. One final thought I have.
No, it is not. Yes, it is.
Chargers live if they're down.
Yeah, I think so. I think they have. That's
if the scripted makeup portion of the offense for Miami looks good and they score some points, fire Chargers live. All right. Is it my turn or your turn? My turn, right?
No, it is. It is my turn.
Yeah.
Tennessee, Las Vegas.
You skipped Niners, Bucks.
Oh yeah, I can't get those 2 straight. So Niners, Bucks.
It's a 125 kickoff, not a 105 kickoff. And Saints, Patriots, which is a 10 o'clock kickoff, is 269. Do you want to do Patriots, Saints since it's the last 10 o'clock game?
Yeah, let's do Patriots, Saints. We'll go out of order. So Patriots, Saints. People are fawning, creaming themselves over Drake May.
Mm-hmm.
It was a big game. It was a big win. It was a good performance. You know, that team has some other issues here and there. I have them as about a dead nut even team. And in the same right, people are starting to come around on Rattler. Rattler isn't as dead ass terrible as we thought he would be. Obviously, that team needs a lot more players to be competitive, but they've been in some games. They covered for me as a massive dog a couple weeks ago, and yeah, the Saints winning a game at least, and I still have them as a pretty lowly rated team, but they will host the Patriots, and there are some people that can make a good case, and I wonder, we'll hear what your case is on here, that maybe we're a little high on New England at this point as they travel to. It doesn't matter how shitty the Saints are. The Saints have great fans. Like there is, because it's that in LSU. You don't have a lot else going on down there, guys. Like it's still going to a nasty indoor stadium and having to play on the road after, being sucked off by the media for 7 days. So I think we're a little high on New England right now.
I couldn't agree more. This is the perfect intermediate sell high spot on the Patriots. Yep. For sure. This is it. I don't know that they draw this up any better, honestly. Like this is not a guarantee that the Saints cover by any stretch of the imagination, but you get a home team catching outside of a field goal who's better than people think and is at least competent and at least capable of, like, this team. They covered the early numbers against the Niners, should have covered the full game. They should have covered against the Cardinals at home. Ultimately, probably should have won that game if Johnson holds on to that ball at the end and it goes into overtime tied. They may win. Their only bad loss was that stinker on the road against Seattle. Otherwise, they've been competitive. They were competitive against the Bills, and then they just won outright against the Giants team that was playing hard. I don't think that the Saints are a pushover at all. This is very much like a 6-11 team that goes 11-6 against the spread. I feel like that's sort of their
fun.
That's sort of their outcome. Their MO. I would say that Kellen Moore has impressed to the good as far as just being a general positive as not a negative as a head coach. And some of the veterans on defense who I did not have especially high expectations for have been playing well, or fine, if not well. And yeah, congratulations to the Patriots defense for shutting down the Buffalo Bills. That game was officiated so strangely, and there were some fluky turnovers that really kind of drove that outcome, I thought. And Drake May, with a couple of insane specific plays that are fun to break down and fun to pass around and fun to gloss over, has resulted in a cream fest, which I don't think is entirely unwarranted, but it certainly is the kind of thing that tends to skew perceptions of a guy. So yeah, 3.5 is a big miss, I think.
Yeah.
This should be like 2.5, and I'm very, very happy to have Saints 3.5 in pocket.
And yeah, kind of it was such a big part of what we talked about during the game, but not mentioned yet, and not mentioned in a lot of handicaps I'm hearing about this game, is it's a bad running team. It's been a bad run offense for the New England Patriots, and it's probably not going to get better. Obviously, they don't have a lot of trust in the rookie, and they just got another injury. So you have a guy who fumbles, you got a rookie they don't trust, and then whoever else they bring in and have trotting out there. I know they have another one on roster because he got a carry or something, but he doesn't have a lot of support here. And if you're not getting it done through the passing game, it might not look as fun as we had last week in that big win. So, yeah, looking at the Saints, I feel like I have my allotment of Saints bets in for the year, but it is a decent sell high. And I have this on the other side of 3. I'm at about 2.5. So this is one where I don't think you can just say, hey, go take the money line, be a man, go take a money line. And
absolutely not.
Because that's scary. But at the same time, it feels like when you win this, like there's going to be a field goal that decides this game at the last second, one way or the other, or the Saints lose by 1 trillion. And you're gonna either way. I'm fine just taking the 3.5.
No, there's the percentages of the game where the Patriots win by a field goal is at least 10, maybe 12. It's a big chunk, and I think scoring the 3.5 is solid. I very much think this closes 3. This has old school sharp fingerprints all over it.
We're in lockstep this week. It's going to be a good week, or we might not do a Sunday. We might not have a Sunday halftime show for both. Really sad. All right, now we can get into the Niners Tampa Bay game.
Okay, 1:25 kickoff. Mac Jones and his injured PCL and the San Francisco 49ers and Kyle Shanahan, the fucking wizard, go to Florida to take on Tampa Bay on extra rest. Number here has not moved the way I would have, or not moved as much or as quickly as I would have guessed. Maybe I was a little bit premature or hopeful in hoping that Ricky Pearsall and Jennings would be back to bolster this 49ers receiving core. But you know what? That's just the market reacting to news. It kind of doesn't really matter. Like the way that Shanahan is drawing this up to this point is so masterful. And I do not think he is going to have a tough time with this Tampa Bay defense. Personally, Tampa Bay defense is a team you cannot run against. But as basically the Seahawks put together the blueprint that I think Shanahan can lean into from last week about how to really kind of get chunk plays on this squad through the air, and I think they're going to do it. And then on the flip side, Mayfield's having an amazing season. This is a pretty well-balanced team. There's a lot to be concerned about with the Niners defense. This is all true. But they still have Fred Warner. They got Diamador Lenoir. And they're not going to have Mike Evans. So I think this is Niners or pass. I played +3, and I think this closes 2.5.
Yeah, Baker's another one that's been getting just the old sloppy top treatment from the media this week. And yeah, he's played really well. He kind of feels like the antithesis of the Jaguars defense, where this guy might start to throw some turnovers here soon. It's just been a good team. Somebody brought this up too. They said, why isn't Bowles getting consideration for Coach of the Year? Because his fingerprints are on none of the stuff that's good that's happening. It just feels like, it's another year of Baker playing over his head.
You can't get the coach credit for last second game-winning drives week in, week out. Can you? The defensive head coach doesn't get credit for that. Sorry. This is number 1, fluky, and number 2, Baker just performing in the clutch. Doesn't feel sustainable to me.
No.
By the way,
the Niners are banged up. Like you said, you had some of your really good players. Like Warner matters so much, and I'm steering clear because I don't love how they've been able to do this without wide receivers. Basically, no Kittle, no wide receivers healthy. It feels like I have to sell on both of these teams, so I'm avoiding it.
Okay, I'm not expecting Purdy. I am expecting Mac, and I am expecting them to be fine passing the football in this game, regardless of who's available. So maybe I'm falling trap here. Yeah, but I remember Shane from Dublin, Orange artist.
He looks a lot like Liam Gallagher. Slancha.
Fair enough. Pittsburgh Steelers fan now. Very cool. Long time. I played 4 sides this week. One of them is Niners +3. We'll see.
Yeah.
Don't like it as much as I like Seahawks or Saints, but
Showtime says Pearsall probably not playing. Yeah, we're not expecting Purdy at all. I don't know that anyone is. So.
Pearsall's probably not going. That's a bummer.
I bet he's
I thought maybe 10 days he was going to be back.
Shanny's never lied to us, so I think we'll be fine there. Tennessee.
Good point.
Tennessee at Lost Wages. Tennessee flying high, coming off the win. Did not upgrade them because there was, what were the positives from that game? The one good throw at the
Cam
end,
Ward
sideline.
Anticipatory ball placement.
Like he had 2 or 3 pretty good throws. I can't upgrade the team off that because essentially they looked like shit for big parts of the game. And Arizona, even before everything that transpired, Arizona was kind of letting them off the hook. Once they got up, like 14-3 or what have you, it really felt like, all right, put your foot on their throat. And they never did. And they could have, they would have, they should have. Obviously, they didn't be in a much better spot. You guys wouldn't be dead in Survivor. So I don't know if I trust Gannon. Obviously, he's not having the best week either. As far as even if he hadn't had the whole "hey, I hit a guy and got fined for it," the play calling, the decision making, what they were deciding to do late in their late game decision making, and running on 3rd and 8. I get, hey, save a timeout. There was so much time left. I don't know if that one timeout was going to be the difference. Whereas you could have gone kill shot there on 3rd down. You were moving the ball. You were playing well. Get the ball in Kyler's hands. Now, maybe the foot injury played a part in that, but I don't know. So Tennessee, yeah, not a team I can upgrade. And Vegas is obviously a team that we've decided the quarterback play is well below what we thought was possible, probable, likely. It is on the lower end of the Geno spectrum right now. And that's not great because the defense outside of a couple players is also pretty bad. And this is a big negative team. I still have like Vegas showing value here according to my numbers because I have Tennessee so low.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like you always see these people like, oh, let's go support our team in Vegas. Like, are people excited to go to a Tennessee Titans game across the country right now?
No, I don't think so. It's probably much more fun weekend in Nashville than it is in Las Vegas, middle of October, right? Probably.
It's funny the pictures are so small. I just assumed it was.
Oh, that's sick.
It's Johnny Marr.
Oh, very cool.
Didn't we talk about the Smiths yesterday?
Yes, we did. Yeah, we did. All right. I don't have a bet in this game. My number is pretty much squarely there. And I thought for sure I was going to have a strong opinion on this one when I saw it opened. I was like, oh, 4.5 for the Raiders. Yeah, fucking right. Well, I'm actually at 4.8. So jokes on you.
Why not downgrade Tennessee? I mean, they played pretty much to expectation. I already have them as like a -8 and change.
Yeah,
I think it's pretty properly rated, but
at some point you're going to have to upgrade them because Cam Ward is going to overcome the bad coaching. But the bad coaching right now is really what stands out when you watch them.
Oh, they get an upgrade for the interim coach eventually.
Eventually, hopefully it's not too soon.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, in 5 weeks. Cincinnati at Green Bay. Take it away, Drew.
All right. Cincinnati has a new quarterback as of 24 hours ago. His name is Joe Flacco. He's been around the block. He knows he's prepared for the Green Bay Packers this year. So maybe it should be a pretty straightforward slide him in, give him the notes, just have him chuck it to Chase and Higgins 20 times. Like,
did you see his contract?
No, what?
They actually added stuff. He gets $100,000 per DPI. Guy might be rich, but I'm kidding. That's how you should write that contract up. How do we win? How do we win this game? We get 250 fucking yards
penalties
on defensive pass interference from Joe Flacco.
If there's not,
if the game plan doesn't have 20,
if the game plan doesn't have 20 attempts of over 20 yards, then you've done something horribly wrong.
You're not even trying to win then.
Yeah, right. And why trade for Flacco if you're not trying to win? I would be curious what the thought process is. I'm assuming Browning to Flacco might ultimately look like an upgrade at some point, just because of the other weapons that are there that he can work with. Flacco with the Browns had very, very poor weapons to work with in the passing game, so he really
and the tackles were injured immediately.
Yeah. And this Bengals offensive line is
supposed to be a good
horrible.
Offensive line.
The Bengals offensive line is horrible. Flacco draws Packers this week, Steelers next week. But then he gets reprieve against the Jets. The home Flacco start against the Jets. Now we're fucking talking. Like,
if he plays the whole season, he'll play Baltimore 3 times. You know that?
I love when that happens.
That's funny.
I love when that happens. If he doesn't get hurt, I don't know why he wouldn't play all season. There were people who were like, can he hold the fort until Burrow comes back? Are people really actually holding their breath that Burrow's coming back this year?
If Burrow's coming back, it means you've made the playoffs. and won a game, maybe 2. It doesn't seem
Okay.
terribly likely at this point,
Okay.
based on the prognosis from people that I trust. So,
Okay. Anyway, I think long term, this is an upgrade for the Bengals at quarterback. Long term, they may actually be like a functional offense. I don't know that it's going to look like that against the Packers. I don't think it's going to look like that even next week against the Steelers at home, whose defense I don't really love. But whatever the case is, I think the Bengals' problems are still going to be pretty obvious and apparent for the next couple of weeks. Bengals defense also still very terrible. The funny thing for me is when I do the advanced numbers and I look at Packers Lions, Andy, Spider-Man meme. Like, they look so fucking similar. It's like, wow, what is happening? Like, these guys are doing all of the same stuff well. The same couple of cracks. Like, it is really, really, really wild how similar Packers Lions are. And we just saw the Bengals at home against the Lions have zero resistance. So I would say the general idea here is Packers score 30 probably. They're coming off their bye. They have they have a couple of players coming back, presumably, who matter. Zach Tom, you mentioned.
yeah, they may.
Kraft?
I may bet a defensive score here for the Packers.
Can you give me the full rundown on Packer injuries thoughts?
Maybe actually, you know what? Kraft should be back, right? Kraft's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have today's updates yet, but I think the biggest one for them is the Tom injury. So he's likely to return this week. The Aaron Banks thing up in the air more. Nate Hobbs, what was the concussion prognosis? All right, so he's fine. Hobbs is gonna go, and then I think Wyatt was week to week. Devontae Wyatt's still out, so I think he's actually gonna miss a few weeks, which is, I mean, he's more in the run game, but yeah, I think the idea for Cincinnati starting Flacco is, like you said, he already prepped for Green Bay once this year. He's a 40-year-old man who's prepped for hundreds of NFL games. It'll be fine. He'll be fine. He'll play. So at this point, they said we traded for him. He's going to start. His career with the Bengals could last just one game if Micah Parsons really gets after it, I guess. But like you said, it is an upgrade, despite how statuesque he's been. The issue is it's just really bad that he played behind an offensive line that was getting all kinds of banged up, and it really affected him. This is worse. This is still worse somehow. It's going to a worse situation there. Obviously, way better wide receivers. So I don't know how those balance out, especially against a mean pass rush. I'm not excited to touch this one.
Okay. Kraft played in week 4 with the knee, so will be probably fine. Hobbs, you mentioned Hobbs. You mentioned who's the other guy? Wyatt came out with a knee. Belton, Banks, Tom, all good.
Yeah.
We think.
The Wyatt was week to week, but that was before the bye. I feel like he sounded like he was going to miss multiple weeks. That's what I'm going to check in on this afternoon.
All right. To use or not to use Packers in Survivor? Probably one of the two. Packers have a lot of future utility.
That's the thing. I don't want to use them in both. Honestly, there's a case to be made to not use them in either. But in our chalk entry, I think this is the way to go.
Okay. All right. Nothing would. Yeah. I don't know. Ultimately, the next time chalk is a complete pass and we root against, but it doesn't feel like it's this week. Detroit, KC.
Yeah, I think the Watson ramp up period is starting to begin, which is exciting for that offense. If he's back in a couple weeks,
I know, right? And it's almost Toyotathon. Things are getting
to Toyotathon.
It is going to get real
Sunday
interesting.
Night. Detroit coming off their bye. Kansas City coming off.
Detroit didn't have a bye. They played the Bengals.
Oh yeah,
that's not very nice.
Is that mean to say?
Detroit basically had buys the last 2 weeks. If you really were
Detroit coming off a ass whooping where they kind of coasted, almost gave up the cover for people who laid the big number.
That's right.
It would have been an undeserved backdoor, I believe. But Kansas City off Monday night. This was minus 149. Total was back up, back down. And now where did we finally land on this total?
53.
53 and a half now at some places.
Whoa.
53 for the most part, though.
I'm going to say 53.
Yeah, the injuries for the secondary for the Lions is obviously driving part of this number. Kansas City looked better. Worthy banged up during the game, but he did come back in. That was scary because obviously we saw what it was like without him. Obviously one more week without Rashee Rice, which is great timing for the Lions because, boy, what a bad week for, hey, everybody's back for Kansas City, and you guys are missing multiple pieces in the secondary. This defense, it's been downgraded from where we thought it'd start the season. The offense is upgraded, though. We were a little down on what we thought we'd see without Ben Johnson. Mm-hmm. We were rewarded for that in week one by like, oh, this isn't good. And then from there on out, maybe the best offense in the league as far as consistency and beating up bad teams that they should. This is not a bad team, but it is a gettable defense, despite how we feel about Spags. They just don't have all the pieces in place to be a functional offense or a functional defense to the level that they have been over the past few years. And that's why your total's 53 and a half, because the Lions should absolutely eat, but at the same time, Patrick Mahomes against backup corners, backup safeties, Kelsey looking a little spry after the release of Showgirl. I think it's warranted.
Absolutely.
My number can't get to 53 because my numbers rarely get to a 53. But I can't stomach taking it under here. My numbers say Kansas City should be a small favorite. I'm a little surprised they're up to 2.5. I thought that was a little aggressive. But at the same time, I'm not interested in taking a +2, +2.5, and a total in the 50s either. If you like the Lions, I think you like them straight up, or you like their team total. That's what I backed last week. May go back to that well again. Jesus, if it's going to be, just another like 26.5, give it to me. I played 29.5 last week, didn't care. This is interesting. I wonder if this is some sort of maintenance day, but I hadn't heard much on St. Brown.
No, me either. News to me. I like it though because I played the Chiefs. I have Chiefs 2.5 in pocket.
Wrist injury is bugging him. Obviously that Khalif Raymond, the kick returner, Taylor Decker, were the injuries that aren't secondary related, but Kirby Joseph and Terrion Arnold did not practice as well, which was expected.
I feel like there's really just one last thing for the Chiefs to solve, and then they're going to be kind of cranking it into playoff mode, and it's the pass defense. The pass offense is fine. I'm assuming Worthy continues to get more and more usage. It didn't seem like he had any ill effects of the ankle turn that happened mid-game. I think Rashee Rice coming back next week is going to make the whole passing offense sing in general. The rushing offense finally looked really, really live against the Jaguars rush defense, which is not bad, but it's not, it's fine. If they have good complementary offense, all of a sudden this turns into a really fun unit. The defensive side of the ball, I thought the rushing defense was good in general. Now, granted, they were selling out to stop the run, but that's what I would like to see them do against the Lions and make Jared Goff beat you. Goff has been fine this year, but there are some things that he's doing that I'm not especially sold on. Big divergence from how he's being graded by folks who are watching film and what his EPA per play numbers look like, which I think is kind of interesting. I think in general, the Chiefs, whatever they got, all the freaking bring around the rosy shit that you got in your playbook probably comes to play in this, comes out in this game. And the Lions, this is a wicked step up in competition from effectively 2 buys. So
that's the biggest concern for, I'm a little off on this price. I make it Chiefs by about 1. But at the same time, like the Lions haven't played anybody since, before
you're Chiefs 1? Okay, so your Chiefs number is low then.
Really?
Yeah, I'm at like 275.
Oh, I have the Chiefs at a 4, flat, pretty much.
My
And I have
modal outcome
Detroit.
here is Chiefs by 3 a lot.
Yeah, I have Detroit as a 4.25. Kansas City is a 4, roughly. This is one of the better home fields. I have it as about two full points. I'm deducting a little for the short week as well.
Alan McNeil back?
I don't think so. Is he?
Yeah, he's playing. Yeah, his practice window was open. He practiced last week. I bet you he's activated for this game. Yeah,
It's been a week and it was an ACL. It's weird how sometimes the ramp ups are several weeks. Maybe for a defensive tackle, it could be a 1 week thing.
I think these cornerbacks are in trouble.
All of them.
For the Lions, especially.
Both teams.
Yeah. Okay. I probably bet this just to have some action, but I like the Chiefs in a bounce back spot here at home.
All right. And since people have whined and we have a little time, let's do some really quick Monday Night Football stuff, even though we're going to touch on those on Friday.
Okay.
Because we have 2. People be like, "Where's the Monday Night Football stuff?" So I'm gonna hit it quick, and then you're gonna give me a 30-second handicap, which means about a minute and a half.
Fire away. Monday
Night Football early. The Buffalo Bills will head to Atlanta to take on. This is down to 3.5 pretty much everywhere now. Totals 49-ish. Connor McGovern. We'll see about the hand. Milano aggravated the pec injury. Got to catch up on that. These are all a day behind on injury reports because they're Monday, so it's a pain in the ass. Ed Oliver missed 4 straight games. Maybe coming back here soon. We're expecting AJ Terrell back in this game, which is very exciting for the Falcons because they need him. Darnell Mooney, possible too. He did leave with a hamstring injury. We'll see if that's a 1 week thing or if he's going to miss some time. A lot of injuries to catch up on here. My numbers are very incomplete because of some of those being pretty meaningful, and I'm not betting this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm exactly on here.
Yeah, if I were to bet this, it would be Atlanta, and some of that would be based on the fact that
rest and travel back.
Rest, travel, Terrell, the fact that Buffalo can be scored on, and I kind of believe in this offense if it ever gets going against certain teams. So real quick there. Nothing for me yet. Chicago is your late game. They go to the Commanders. We have the what if you took the other quarterback bowl. This was a 4.5, 49 down to 4. In most places where we sitting at 49.5 for a total still there. 4.5, depending where you're at. The Bears had a spate of injuries that need catching up on. Gordon, Loveland, Wright, Edwards, Jarrett, a bunch of guys from last week. Commanders, the Wednesday practice, no Terry. We had Noah Brown though. We can't afford. It's the kid at the five guys getting the peanuts. We don't have money for Terry. We got Noah Brown money, so
we have Noah Brown.
Yeah. We got Noah Brown at home. No real take on this one yet either, because I do like what some of the things the Bears are doing, but it's been tough to rate the Commanders because Jaden Daniels hasn't played effectively or been in for, and I don't really think he was 100% healthy yet either. So I don't know if we've seen the best of them. I make this like 3.75, whereas the market's still higher. I'm not running to bet the Bears.
I did bet the Bears. I didn't run to do it, but I did. I had to suspend a lot of the data from the season to do it. Just hold my breath. Say this team's going to be healthier, and they're going to be Ben Johnson-ified off the bye.
Yeah, that's the thing. If we get a bunch of good injury news, and this continues to be like 4, I can absolutely take the Bears here. Like they're the side my numbers like.
The Commanders' defense is super smoke and mirrors. They stink, and they can be had. And I think Ben Johnson is going to have something pretty fun cooked up to really put pressure on those guys. And without Terry McLaurin, I don't know that you're taking advantage of the weaknesses of the Bears defense. I don't really know what to make of the Bears defense right now. Their numbers are so bad, but they play some good offenses.
So many players, and they, like you said, they played good teams. they played a bunch of quarterbacks, and they had the weird one against Minnesota to start. So,
yeah.
All right, we'll touch deeper on those on Friday once we have a little more injury news, especially on the Bears because that matters so much. Hail Mary revenge game.
You know it looks. Oh yeah, absolutely. Hail Mary. Yeah, this is specifically Tyreek Stevenson's going to get his revenge. You would hope against Noah Brown in this game.
That's very funny. I forgot about that, Berto.
Speaking of wild, it does feel crazy that the Bears just absolutely took the Cowboys to school week 3. That feels crazy looking at it in hindsight. How did that happen?
Cowboys were still figuring it out.
Okay.
CD Lamb got hurt. I think that's the whole thing. Hey, let's put him in there, and hey, let's build an entire game plan around CD Lamb because he should have eaten like nobody's ever eaten before in that game. I'm sure he was heavily featured, and then he got hurt immediately, and they had to figure it out from there, and they certainly did not. And the Bears looked good offensively that day, so you got to give them credit for there. Ben had a good game. Drew, what was your favoriteest bet? What is your best bet for the week? You're most excited. The one that's absolutely cashing.
Seattle moneyline.
Straight up, McDaniel, McDonald. Doesn't matter. One of those guys.
Yeah. McDonald.
We need McDonald to succeed. We need McDaniel to fail.
McDonald gets it done against a Jags team that is. This is my two favorite angles this week were Seattle and New Orleans, and it doesn't take rocket science to know why you would want to fade the primetime winners, the two primetime dogs that won in week 5, turning around and kind of pooping themselves week 6. Like, don't be shocked.
Don't be shocked there. I think mine is still Dallas team total over. I just don't see. It's another kind of it's a sell high spot for a team that are they even that high? But I'm still selling on Carolina a little bit because I don't care for this defense. And I think
that game is first to 40, right?
The most surprising part wasn't that Carolina came back and scored points and got in it. It's that Miami couldn't score more points to keep them at arm's length. That was just shocking to me that they didn't have the game plan to keep it going on offense, which is really annoying if you were, a Miami backer. I wasn't. I did take Carolina in that one live, and I think I was probably lucky that Miami looked like hell in that. So, and then Survivor. What's our final Survivor thoughts? Is there one that you hate? Is there one that you hate? You think people should stay away from?
No, I think it's going to be chalky this week. We just have to pick the right ones for future value purposes, right? So
you're telling
the
me
makeup,
Philly,
Denver,
the makeup of
Indy. Philly is this pass. No thanks.
No, but I'm saying you think they all win. Well, yeah, it's Thursday. It's sketchy to take it Thursday, but
can't. Right. Well, not even sketchy to take it Thursday. You need to save them for Black Friday.
Pick the team you think most likely to lose out of these: Philly, Denver, Indy, Rams.
Philly.
Yeah. I think I'd have to go with them too. It's got double reason to avoid because I think they're the highest volatility and it's Thursday. I have less information.
Shane asks, who would the Bryson DeChambeau of the NFL quarterbacking world be? I feel like Jordan Love. That guy just chucks. Like he's literally just throws as hard, and he's the only guy that's literally just like, I'm just throwing it as hard and far as I can, regardless of the situation down and distance. We're going for the home run on,
and it's all arm
third pass. Yeah, it's all arm. Yeah.
Sometimes he doesn't need that much hip rotation.
Yeah, Jordan Love is the Bryson DeChambeau of the NFL. Yeah.
All right, let's call it a week.
Secret pod play is your best of. Cowboys.
Yeah, we'll go with the Cowboys. I like that one.
All right,
you guys. We'll meet up tomorrow. We'll hang out tomorrow morning.
Ooh, you're gonna be on your
okay, I'll talk more on my own. So bring your questions. I forgot to do this.
I'll be on a plane to Oregon or Oregon. You know to say it right.
On a jet plane. He'll be back again.
Ooh.
I might miss a Friday of Thanksgiving.
Hopefully Duel's getting ready for the NBA season, sharpening his spear.
Denver.